today. You are looking live. It's sold out MetLife Stadium where today the 16-0 playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Philadelphia Eagles. And why are the Philadelphia Eagles 0-16? Because they suck. It never gets old. The Eagles, they just suck. I hate them so much, man. I hate the Eagles. They started the season 10-1, lost 5 of their next 6 games, and got smoked in the first round of the playoffs. The Eagles suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all that's going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching the replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away, throw in the chat box. I usually try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away. But plus also, instead of me rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes, or whatever it might wind up being, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So once again, please feel free, fire away. Before we get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, the very top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon, the second one's called the Lawrencedale, and the third one I got is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. And if you maybe do me a real favor and maybe give this video a thumbs up or share it, that'd be absolutely phenomenal. And finally, in the description box, a little ways down, there's 2 additional links. The top one's a Facebook link. I'll go over that in just a second. And then the one underneath it, it's a Twitter link. It's always been Twitter. I'm an old-time fart. I hate change. Get off my lawn! One of them old-time farts, right? It's Twitter. It's always been Twitter. It's Twitter today. It'll be Twitter tomorrow. 3 trillion years from now, when I'm long gone, it'll be Twitter. It's always been Twitter. Whatever letter of the alphabet Elon Musk wants to call it, that's on you, bro. I'm calling it Twitter. It's Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. I'll follow you back. That's a promise. I put Giants-related stuff in there every day, right? So as I said, follow me. I'll follow you back. And then finally, the link just above it takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. It's doing simply marvelous, might I add. We have over 7,900 members in the group, New York Giants, the Gridiron. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, if I have internet access, I'm putting stuff in this group darn near 365. And not only do I put stuff in the group, but the members post stuff in this group as well. So between me and the members, there's a ton. There's a boatload. There's an awful lot of New York Giants information going in this group every day. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You won't be dissatisfied. I promise. All right, with all that stuff said and done and out of the way with, well, the combine is in full swing, doing really, really well. I mean, today it was, or the one article I'm going to kind of go over a little bit. It's I guess a little bit of a downer. One of the positions the Giants need, right, is I'll go over real fast, but I'm going to swing back. I'll come back to it. Is that, the linebackers, the defensive linemen, and the edge? Well, I mean, it's not a phenomenal. It's not really I mean, there's some nice edge rushers, but there's nobody. I mean, if you're we're talking primo edge rusher, you're hitting the top 10. No questions asked. And there's really not a whole heck of a lot. I mean, from what I'm hearing is like day guys being taken into day 2 and all that, but there's nobody. It's like, that fantastic. Thankfully, I mean, if you want to call it that. Thankfully, the Giants have a lot of needs. But, a couple of needs they have is quarterback, the tackle slash offensive line, and wide receiver. So, they have they might be able to do a little damage with pick number 6 right there. Pick 6, cornerback, edge rusher. Nope, not happening. So, I said we'll get back to that. But, they also could use somebody else to pair with the sexy one, maybe going forward. I don't know if they're bringing A'Shawn Robinson back. Nacho is still with us. We got Jordan Riley. We got some other guys. But, Nacho, we still got, right? But him and A'Shawn, you're not getting much out of the pass production, right? They're pretty much like in there for a run. A'Shawn, toward the end of the season when he was getting healthier, he production wise, he did pretty good. Now, I hope we can bring him back. He's not breaking the bank, and especially in the run game, if you put Sexy and him together, that's a good wall right there. All right, but once again, for the most, it's a passing league, right? So you're not going to get much out of a pass rush from A'Shawn. What I'd like to try to get, obviously, in a perfect world, would be that Leo the Lion, Sexy Dexy kind of combo. Where somebody like Leonard Williams, somebody's good against the run and somebody's good against the in the pass rush. He gets something from best of both worlds, right? I forgot, somebody said that Leo the Lion could get like upwards, like maybe around 16, 17 million. It's from Spot Track, I think it was. I have to look it up. I heard he might come in like $16 or $17 million a year. So that's not, he ain't coming back. That's not happening. Giants have too many other. Need another edge rusher. Especially if the Giants are going to go to Gurley World and spend some big time bucks on a position. I said, bringing A'Shawn back. You're not going to Gurley World. You're not. Woo! Here's $20 million for you, baby. It's not. So bringing him back. Let's hope, because somebody like with his capability, might flourish in the Bowen system quite a bit. But also, in the Bowen system, a lot of it's getting pass rush from your front four. All right. So would also help because you got Kayvon. Again, can we get somebody on the other side over here, another edge rusher? So possibly if the Giants are going to maybe do a big splash on somebody, I forget, maybe trying to bring back Saquon. I don't know what we're doing with Isaiah Simmons. Are we going to try to bring Xavier McKinney back? Obviously, they restructured a couple of the contracts, and with the elevated salary cap that went up to over $255 million, the Giants have a little bit of money. So they could maybe possibly make a nice little big splash. Now, if they were going to, I could see possibly maybe go on getting somebody as far as an edge rusher. They can go out and they can bring in a veteran guard, because we got question marks at both guards, right? You don't really know what we got with the Zudo and McKeithen, and Glowinski's gone. I'm sure he'll probably be gone. So we got some openings, right? So come on in. We got some openings for you. So, if they're going to maybe bring in maybe a veteran presence or somebody like that, I can see that doing as far as a guard in free agency. But once again, that's something that you're not going to want to break in the bank over, But it'd be interesting to see if maybe they do want to make a nice little splash on somebody in free agency. We'll have to wait and see. As I said, Huff from the Jets, if he's want to letting becomes a free agent. I don't know if the Jets are going to wind up maybe franchise and tag him. I'm not sure, but he'll give you good, production as far as a pass rusher, but he's not he's not as good as a Kayvon, because Kayvon is good against the run and is good against the pass. It's hard to find those guys. Huff, is good, is very good against in the pass rush, but he kind of not the greatest against the run. But anyway, let's go to Schoen. He's using, and I heard this before in the past, and it's coming from Bill Parcell, so it's real. It's hard to argue. It's hard to argue. Bill Parcells is a little bit like E.F. Hutton. I don't know if if you're an old time fart like me. Okay, but there used to be a commercial that used to go around. When E.F. Hutton talks, people listen. I think it was like about a financial company. They would talk about like financials, maybe where to put your money in the stock market and stuff like that. I think that's what the E.F. Hutton was about. But it was a commercial from quite a while ago. But it was when E.F. Hutton talks, people listen. Well, that's how the commercial went. Well, it's kind of the same thing like with Bill Parcells. When Bill Parcells talk, you listen, right? Because he's just not, he's not a guy to just, shoot his mouth off, right? When he talks, stuff comes out. And the stuff that comes out, you want to shut your mouth and listen, okay? A lot of knowledge there. I mean, let's see. He took 3 different teams to championship games. 3 different teams to championship games. His first 3 teams he took them all to championship games. Giants, the Patriots, the Jets, right? And the Cowboys, and he did a nice job with them. Of course, that was one of the games was when they lost against. Was when Romo, they had the field guy to kick a 3-yard field goal or something like that, but Romo fumbles the frickin' ball and whatever. But Parcells is really good coach. So he was. He was talking with Shane. This is from Giants Wire. The New York Giants led into the 2024 season with new leadership on defense after hiring former Tennessee Titans defensive coordinator Shane Bowen to replace Wink Martindale. Martindale's scheme was all about the blitz and applying pressure, which did not work out as well as planned. Under Bowen, the Giants will look a bit different on defense going forward. We're probably not going to blitz as much as we did in the past, General Manager Joe Schoen said on Tuesday at the NFL Scouting Combine in Indianapolis. But we're going to be very sound. It's going to be very similar to what they did in Tennessee. I think the upfield pass rush is going to be more of a premium versus the read and react. Maybe a little bit less man coverage, obviously. I know I'm saying if you're just rushing 4, you can drop 7 in the coverage, right? And you can play yourself some zone, right? When you're blitzing 38 guys, you got 3 guys in coverage. You can't play zone defense with 3 guys, right? Everybody's playing man. Right? So that's where you need your man, the man, right? Maybe a little bit less man coverage, but we are going to be physical, fast, and we're going to be sound in our assignments. Shane, however, is not getting locked into added players that will fit Bowen's scheme, though. He learned that lesson from his mentor, a many Giant fans hold in high regard. You got that freaking right. Bill Parcells told me a long time ago, coaches come and go. So you better not pick players who are scheme specific. Like, I tell you what, this cornerback, he is good. Put that man in zone. Whoo! We're talking. This guy is whoo! This guy is good. Well, what if the defensive coordinator plays man? Well, what are you going to get? You know what I mean? What are you going to get them? All right. So that's why you don't want to go just scheme specific. You want to, get overall good athletes, good football players. Shane said during a fan Q&A, because if we had scheme specific guys, now that there are they are no good to this new scheme. So as we pick players or assign them in free agency, the versatility is going to be very important to these players. Versatility. The ability to play in multiple schemes is always in the back of our minds when we pick these guys. So it shouldn't really affect the current roster. Shane worked for Parcells early in his career with the Dolphins when he was a scout, and Parcells ran the team's football operations. Parcells told me a long time ago, coaches come and go. Right? So you better not pick players who are scheme specific. So that's, so as I'm saying, so whether that's, in free agency or whether they're going to do it in a draft or whatever it is, and obviously the idea, with free agents, right? They're torch holders. You bring somebody in who's 32 years old at whatever position it is, at a guard position, just saying, okay, he's a torch holder. We got this guy 30, or Kevin Zeitler. He's 34, I think. We got Kevin Zeitler, baby. We're good for the next 10 years. No, you got guys who are torch holders, but especially guys you're drafting, right? What you want to do, right? Draft them, develop them, bring them along, but re-sign them, right? So you want to draft guys that are good overall football players, good athletes, good football. As I said, once again, not just scheme specific guys. We brought in, now if this was the problem or not, I'm not totally 100% sure, but we brought in Kenny Golladay, right? He's kind of like a, get down the field, maybe throw it up, 50-50 kind of guy and all that and everything. So when Shane and Dable, especially Dable, comes in, he wants separation. He doesn't want drop back. Just throw the ball up. He'll get it. It doesn't seem like that's what Dable had in mind. Dable wants separation, right? And that's something Kenny Golladay really probably wasn't giving him. So that quite possibly might be why we had a $352 trillion a year guy, right, on the sideline drinking Kool-Aid, right? Pretty much the whole season long, right? Now, I do got to give Kenny Golladay a lot of credit. Obviously, he was, I understand. Dude wants to play, He mentioned, he said at times, whatever, he was a little upset, but didn't want to play. But he, once again, to his credit, he could have had some unbelievably sour grapes. He could have been a big distraction, this, that, and the other thing. And I think he did. I think he manned up pretty damn well. Because it's a little bit, slap in the face. The guy's making all this frickin' money. It's like, why am I sitting on the sideline? And I can catch the ball. What do you think? So it is what it is. But once again, you want to bring in guys that are good overall, sound football players / athletes and all that. I said, once again, it's not somebody, no scheme specific. As when coaches come and go, and they come and go quite often. Some guys, coaches wind up hanging with teams for a while, but other times, especially a lot of them, especially if they're doing good, right? I guess with Kafka, what happens after the season's over? He gets the calls. Hey, you want to come interview for the head coach? And you want to come? Right. So when guys really do good, they're moving around all over the place, right? Not only do they move around, some of them are lateral moves, some go elsewhere, but also, you might have the Giants might have whatever. Defensive back assistant coach. Well, then he gets elevated to the linebacker coach, or then he gets elevated. A lot of times you don't have coaches, a lot of them wind up moving around quite a bit. So that's not what Parcells was saying. A lot of times coaches either go to different teams for sometimes lateral moves, but they go for promotions, or they get advancements and stuff like that. So they're always moving. That's one of the best. I'd have a hard time being a coach. I'm like a homeboy. I kind of like know where my feet are going to be at. I mean, being like in the military or being an NFL coach or a coach, any college coach or whatever, like every other year, one year you're coaching for Tulsa, then you're coaching for Minnesota, then you're out in Northern California, and then you're coming back to coaching, on the East Coast, and then you're down in Florida the next year. It's like, that ain't me. That ain't me. It's that ain't for everybody. That's not for me. I'm a homeboy. I like to know where my feet are going to be, right? But as I said, when Bill Parcells talks, you listen. All right, then we got the combine here. All right. 2024 NFL Scouting Combine, wrapping up the D-line, the edge, and the linebacker workouts. This is from, what we got? Big Blue View. It says, big men moving. We have to talk about the elephant on the field in T'Vondre Sweat. He's impossible to miss and almost as tough to ignore. Sweat weighed in at a still massive 366 pounds, despite concerns that he could be tipping the scales closer to 400 pounds after he declined to weigh in at the Senior Bowl. Sweat is a remarkable athlete at that size, and while his numbers weren't great in the grand scheme of things, they are impressive when taken in context. Hold on. I moved the chair for my buddy right here. Go on, buddy. Let me move. All right. Come in, Bill. Come on in, buddy. Come on in, good boy. I mean, let's see. What was it? He on the vertical, he did 25 inches at 366 pounds. It's not bad. That's about what I can do. I can do it, and I'm about 150 pounds lighter than he is. Let's see here. What we got? Let's see. Sweat only ran the 40 once, but once was enough. He had a 1.8 second 10-yard split and a 5.27 second 40-yard dash. He was also impressive in the field drill, showing surprise grace for a human avalanche. That's a big dude. Sweat's teammates Brian Murphy II, however, stole the show among the defensive tackles. He was a compact, powerful physique, but was remarkably smooth mover on the field, as well as violent once the bags came out. Taken as a whole, Murphy and Sweat were probably the most impressive duo among the defensive tackles. It's unfortunate that Jayson Newton of Illinois is recovering from a Jones fracture. He could have rivaled Murphy for most impressive performance. There was a guy from Clemson, Chris Jenkins of Michigan, Brad Fisk of Florida State, and Smith of LSU were all very impressive as well. Smith moved to have the most prototypical build amongst the year's defensive tackles at 6'5", 306 pounds, 35-inch arms. That's a long arm, boy. He also might have had the heaviest hands of any D tackle on the field Thursday. So, I mean, there's going to be a couple of defensive tackles going in the first round, but there's, I'm not sure how unbelievably, amazingly impressive they are. This might be a edge rusher, maybe fall. It might go in the top 10 or so, but there's not a boatload of them. I mean, like unbelievable edge rushers. It's not the greatest class for that. It says quarterback hunters. This year's draft class looks to be incredibly deep at 3 of the 4 cornerstone positions: tackle, cornerback, wide receiver. The edge rusher group, however, doesn't appear to be quite as deep at first blush. Latu, Verse, and Dallas Turner are projected to be the first 3 edge rushers off the board, though it's impossible none of them crack the top 10. So, I mean, if you had an unbelievable edge rusher, he's cracking the top 10. He's probably might be cracking the top 5, right? One of the biggest questions, however, is in regards to Penn State's Chop Robinson. Robinson is known to be an athletic freak, but the production never matched his athletic potential. But he's got some truly impressive potential. Robinson timed in a 4.48 in the 40-yard dash. showing off a great get-off as well as the speed to run down most ball carries at the NFL level. He could be a real threat off the edge with some coaching as a professional. So, but once again, you got some guys that are coming in, with some potential, right? I mean, it's not just wind them up, throw them on the field, and they're going to become an all-pro for you. They're going to have to work at it, right? It's also noticeable that Alabama edge defenders Dallas Turner and Chris Braswell were asked to work out with the linebackers, even though they were performing with the off-ball linebackers. They still put up excellent workouts. Turner was 4.46 in the 40-yard dash. It was the second fastest of the day and all but paced the off-ball linebackers, despite him being an edge at heart. Combine is also a chance for the under-the-radar prospects to step up and force scouts back to the tape. Yep, absolutely. Colorado State's Mohamed Kamara has been on the periphery of the national awareness and generated some buzz at the Shrine Bowl. He built on that at the Combine with a great 40 time, 4.58, as well as some very good work in the field. Miles Cole from Texas Tech is also forcing scouts back to his tape. He had one of the best 40 times with a strong 10-yard split as well. He's 6'6", 278 pounds. Shoo. 6'6", 270, almost 280 on the edge. That's pretty sweet numbers. Let me tell you what. Because you can't, I mean, you can do something with the 278. If you need to drop a little bit, you can drop a little bit. You need to add a little bit, you can add. If you want to stay at 278, whatever. But his arms, his height, you can't stretch his arms. You can't jack him up to make him 7. If he's 6'6", he's got to give him at 6'6". Whew. An edge, whew. That's sweet. That's sweet. Let's see here. And of course, it's a weird feeling to be watching the linebackers work out and the Giants not being in desperate need of a linebacker. I mean, between Bobby Okereke and McFadden, they're pretty sound right there. Certainly does not mean, because if we look at their depth there, certainly does not mean that they couldn't use some depth there. Now, let's not forget, also don't want to forget about Beavers, okay? Because he last year he was coming back from his injury. Okay, so he may not have been 100%, been able to give his best. Hopefully this is his second season back off the injury. Hopefully he'll be able to shine maybe a little bit better. But if we got McFadden, we got Okereke, and Darian Beavers. We got Jarrett Davis, who's an unrestricted free agent, Isaiah Simmons, who's an unrestricted free agent, got Carter Coughlin and Cam Brown. As far as I know, I think they're both gone. So, we got Bobby Okereke, Micah McFadden, and Darian Beavers. Then we might have a couple guys like maybe who sign reserve future contracts. Deontay Johnson. Yeah, so we definitely need a couple guys. At least I'm thinking at least 2 guys in the inside linebacker position without question. And not only so much for that, but also bringing in a couple guys in the interior, the inside linebacker position also will help. Guys like that you can use on special teams as well, like what we had with Cam Brown and Carter Coughlin. They were huge on special teams last year. But once again, Cam Brown and Carter Coughlin, they're not Shane and Dable guys. They came with Kmart, right? So I'm sure Shane and Dable, for whatever, want to bring their own guys in. So, but we need guys at the interior linebacker position. Now, this is not something, as I said, there's certainly something the Giants could wind up taking in the 4th round, the 5th round. They don't have a 7th round, maybe a 6th round pick to get some depth in there without question. Definitely. But as far as the first 4 picks, first 5 picks. Yeah, the first 4 rounds. Like, it was a pick 107 they had. 107 or 108 is a 4th round pick. So and the picks from pick 6 to 107 or 108, I don't see an interior linebacker being taken for the Giants. We have too many other holes in need be. But the Giants are definitely going to have to bring in at least a couple guys in the interior linebacker position. We need depth there. That's someplace we need depth pretty much almost everywhere. But the middle linebacker position, we definitely need depth. We have our starters, okay, but as I said, and then if you look at, let's see, edge. Let's go to edge here. I mean, we got, Benton Whitley. He's a restricted free agent. I'm not sure if we're going to be bringing him back. And now we got Jihad Ward, who's an unrestricted free agent. He's a wink guy. I don't know if any way, shape, or form. He's a phenomenal teammate, phenomenal in the locker room. Love his attitude, this, that, and the other thing. But could we do better? Yep. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Let's see. We got Boogie Basham. We got Kayvon Thibodeau. We got Azeez Ojulari. Looks like there's Toman Fox. He got signed to a futures reserves contract. There's another offense outside linebacker, Jeremiah Martin. We ain't got much. Lord knows if Azeez is ever going to be anything what he was a couple of years ago when he wasn't hurt. Last year it was rather a disappointment. So if he can stay healthy, hey, get him on the field. Sure, I'm not expecting too much from him, especially from what I saw from him last year. He didn't give much last year. I'm not expecting much this year, but this year here, could we use him? We could use him at least. If we need him to start, put him in a starter. But I would love to have him just as a rotational depth piece. We go out, maybe go in the big, get a little splash in free agency. Go out and maybe bring somebody in, an edge rusher, right? Who we can definitely pair up with Kayvon. Then the offense is, got to pick their poison. Which way do you want to slide? Do you want to go this way? Maybe help protect over here. Do you want to help protect over there? Got to pick your poison, right? But we, once again, outside linebacker, edge rusher. We need somebody, and then we need some depth. As I said, if you're looking at Boogie Basham, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Azeez Ojulari, we need some depth there too, without question. Defensive line, right? The defensive line. We really could use somebody to put next to Sexy Dexy. We got Nacho, we got DJ Davidson, you got Jordan Riley, Timmy Horn. But as I said, we've got drafted DJ Davidson, Jordan Riley. We got Nacho, right? Who's right against the run. Okay, but we got Sexy Dexy. So we really don't have another stout. We got Robinson, Ashawn Robinson, but he's a free agent, so we'd have to try to bring him back. Hopefully we can. Okay. But as far as all those, we could certainly use maybe a little depth in the defense, interior defensive line, but we could use another edge rusher and some depth at edge rusher, and we don't need a starter at the interior linebacker position, right? But we need depth there, without question. So, but it's not a phenomenal class for any of that. So, if the Giants are going to do anything there, especially as far as depth or anything like that, that would be probably maybe like a day 3 kind of pick, somewhere around there. Well, maybe no, day 2, day 3. I'm sure they could probably pick up a solid edge rusher or a solid interior defensive lineman in day 2. Let's not forget, day 2, we got 3 picks, right? 2 second rounds and a third round. So that's going to be a big, big day. The first 2 days are going to be, obviously all 3 days are huge. The first day, what do we do with pick 6? Which way are we going? We got to try to go after a quarterback, hope one falls to us. We're going to finally get our freaking dog of a wide receiver. So we don't have to listen to that for at least 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, whatever it will be. I got to get themselves another number 1 wide receiver. Well, can we just pick a guy so we don't have to hear that anymore. I'm so sick and tired of freaking hearing people say that. But or we're going to go with an offensive lineman slide. Parcell's like, yeah, no, Neil, you got to come inside, brother. Sorry. Love you, baby, but you got to come inside, right? We're going to slide Neil in, right? So we got our guard, draft all, just saying, right? We got Thomas, all, we got Neil, we got Michael Schmitz, and then maybe we can get a guard, right? Maybe in free agency, right? And we might have a really good offensive line, especially if Parcell can get the best out of everybody. That would be nice. So be interested to see, but I mean, a pick 6 is going to be huge. And I said, obviously, they're all huge, but day 2, we got 3 picks, three bites at the apple. Let's see, can we get 3 home runs? Those 2 second-round picks, if they're not straight up starters day 1, big time contributors, and their 3rd-round pick, once again, could be a huge contributor. Then, of course, then you get we got the 4th round, 5th round, 6th round. So obviously, the day 3 picks, the 3-day 3 picks that we have. You can find it, obviously, sure. Can you find a diamond in the rough? Absolutely. Micah McFadden, right? But also depth. We need depth everywhere. So the guys that they pick in rounds 4, 5, and 6, going to be some depth. Maybe, as I said, maybe a diamond in the rough. But if worse comes to worse, can we get some depth, right? Guys that if worse comes to worse, we can, get them. If they don't make the 50, maybe develop them, right? Keep them, develop them, or maybe at least be special teams contributors. Find good athletes who just want to play some football. Kick the ball, punter. I'm running down the field. I'm making the tackle. I'm not the greatest cornerback in the world. I'm not this. I'm not that. I'm that. But I know once you kick the ball, I'm running down the field. That mother down there who catches the ball, he's getting tackled by me. That's all I know. That's what I'm here for. What I mean? Get some good football play. Guys who want to play some football. Not only guys who want to play football without being too picky, but guys who are relatively healthy too. Okay, because once again, as Jimmy Johnson said many times, a lot of guys say this, but hurt players get hurt. Let's try to, obviously, the medicals are huge. Talking to the guys, getting to know, what how they act and all that and everything. Talking conversation, but I would say the medicals are huge as well too. All right, so then we got. Finally they had some little conversations going on with Saquon, right? Apparently they went well. But I guess if they didn't go too well, I guess that could have been reported as well too if things weren't going too well with the talks. But apparently they had some nice talks, and they do have until March 5th to slap that tag on them. So whoever, if they're going to, could once again could be a placeholder, right? We're really close, really, really close. We're gonna slap that tag on them. Okay, that gives us about a week to work something out. Right, or work something out a long term, or whatever, before the beginning of the new year, whatever, So they can slap the tag on them. So, but let's see where we got here. Where we at here? There we go. Giants Saquon have a good meeting at the NFL Combine after GM says team wants to keep the running back, and I want the freaking guy too. It doesn't look like Saquon. It doesn't look like Barkley is leaving the Big Apple. To me, and there's pros and cons to it and all and everything like that. But is he a Saquon from 2018? No. Yeah. Has he slowed a bit? Yeah. As the injuries and the treads come off the tires, meaning he's had a lot of touches and stuff like that. He's going to slow down at all. But there's a lot more. It's just not Saquon. And you also look at it too. Okay. And I understand, I see all this stuff in the groups, Facebook groups and stuff like that, especially when it comes all the time when we talk about you put the two of them together. Bam. Right. Comes to the end of the year, okay, and Saquon's up for, contract extension or whatever. Well, so you got that, and then just after the Super Bowl's over, you get the other one, and I see this stuff in the group. Bam, they get matched up. Never fails. Every time I'll see a chart and go over the past, whatever it is, 10, 11, 12, 13, whatever. It goes back to my Bradshaw. It goes back to maybe even a year or so before that. It'll go back to those Super Bowl winning teams, their running backs, their star running back, and how much their star running back made that year, and how much of the salary cap, I believe, that they right. So, of course, that goes against everything that Saquon stands for, right? Because Saquon's going to want whatever, 8, 9, 10 million, whatever it is a year. He's going to come to such and such a percent of the salary cap. And of course, in the Super Bowl era, over the past 10, 11, 12, 13 years, whatever it is, that's a no-go. Because you look at all the Chiefs, they pay their guys like $42 a year. Their running backs, they're like 0.000000001% of the salary cap. They're starting running backs, and they win Super Bowls, and that's the formula. That's the way to do it. Right? Pay your running backs absolutely nothing, like $3.50. Make sure that they take up none of the salary, and that's the formula. And I see that every year. But I can guarantee one. Also another thing. One thing is that if Saquon's willing to maybe take less, but settle at something maybe a little less than what he wants. The New York market. He's a handsome freaking dude. He puts rear ends in the seats. He's got people walking around with 26s on his jersey. He's a nice guy, right? He's the face of the franchise. Ain't nobody. I know Daniel Jones, Sexy Daniel Tana, Saquon. He's the face of the franchise, right? So he's a lot more than just a running back. He's also a weapon. So he can, he may not be the greatest receiving running back in the world, but he's a pretty damn good one, right? He can still tote the rock. If need be, you can hand him the rock 20, 25 times if need be. Hey, and it's kind of hard to say exactly what he is when you can't give him a hole. Right? If you turn the ball around, hand it off to him, and he looks, and there's 315 defensive guys in the backfield already ready to tackle him, it's kind of hard for him to do his thing, right? Right? Let's put Christian McCaffrey behind this Giants offensive line, okay, with their wide receivers and all. Let's see what what kind of numbers he comes up with. So you got to put the stuff in context. It's, Christian McCaffrey, he's so good. Yeah, well, let's, put him behind this Giants team here. And I'll say this till I'm blue in the face. In 1972, and you can go 365 quadrillion different, examples. The one I always like to give is one I came up with, right? Take Franco Harris and have him, he got drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers in 1972. But if the Giants drafted him in 1972, okay, instead of drafting, 1972, what was it, Larry Jacobson and Eldridge Small, I believe it was, instead of the Giants drafting it, they drafted Franco Harris and put Franco Harris on the Giants offense behind the offense. Well, in 72, the Giants did pretty good. They were pretty good. Good offense, not bad defense. They were 8-6, right? But after that, right? So you put Franco Harris behind the New York Giants offensive line. He's not in the Hall of Fame, right? So it's all that stuff's all some context here. All right. Right? Gotta give it some substance to it, right? But Saquon is, to me, the salary cap's up to over $55 million a year. If you can't come up with 8 or 9 million or so for this guy, I feel bad. I really feel sorry for it. He's a weapon, and all of that. And when you're talking $255 million, and he's probably going to be making less this year than he did last year, quite possibly. Right, and the salary cap went up. Right, I'm sure you can find some money for the guy. I'm sure we can find something. And I said, especially if you sign to a 3-year deal, right? Sign up for this year, next year, and then another year. By the time the 3rd year rolls around, the salary cap's, I don't know what it's going to be, 270, 75, 280. I don't know. Two more years after this, 270, 275. The way it's been going up. So, I mean, in 3 years from now, the salary cap's going to be, like, say, 275, and Saquon's making $9 million a year. Is that still too much? Is that still, But apparently the talks went well. Despite recent reports, the Giants haven't ruled out franchise tagging Saquon Barkley ahead of free agency. And if you assume that Barkley was on his way out of New York, that doesn't appear to be the case at this point in time. In fact, the Giants and Barkley's representatives had a good initial meeting on Wednesday at the NFL Combine, according to CBS's Sports NFL insider Josina Anderson. According to Anderson, the team remains open to multiple options, with Barkley pending an agreement on terms. Cool. Giants general manager Joe Schoen had previously said on Tuesday that the team would like to retain Barkley, a 2-time Pro Bowler, who, when healthy, has proven to be one of the league's premier running backs. While a long-term deal is probably what both sides want, Schoen is willing to go other means to keep Barkley. I wouldn't say the franchise tag is off the table for Barkley, he said. Now, because that's like $12 million right off the bat. So that's pretty tough. Schoen alluded to the NFL's increased salary cap when discussing his optimism when it comes to possibly keeping Barkley. He has established that the cap would be between two. Schoen thought the cap would be around 241 to 243. Instead, the cap for the upcoming season is at 255.4, which is a $30.6 million increase over 2023. I mean, it's just crazy. As far as monetary value, Schoen said that he wouldn't say that Barkley's value has changed from last year when the Giants signed him to a 1-year, $10 million contract. That includes $2 million guaranteed. His projected market value is currently set at $29.93 million over 3 years for an average annual salary of $9.98, according to Spot Track. So around $10 million. But of course, the sticking point, which always will be the sticking point, what's the guaranteed money? What Spot Track was saying, 3 years for about $30 million, so get about $10 million a year. But what's the guaranteed money? Now, of course, if he doesn't get hurt and he plays all the games and everything like that, he'll get his money. But the guys want to go into the season, well, what if I get injured? What's the what am I guaranteed, right? So, I mean, what are they going to guarantee him? 7, 6? So is it 3 for 30 with 15 guaranteed? So 18, 20 guaranteed? Don't know. But I said, I hope we can find, because he's, as I said, is he right now, it was his 7th season heading into the NFL, right? Is he as good as he was in 2018? No. Is he as much of a weapon? No. But he's still a weapon. And I mean, I said, we just added Wandale. We got Wandale Robinson. We got Darius Slayton. We got Hyatt, right? I said, if we can get Waller, right? I said, each year we keep adding little pieces to the puzzle, right? Each year. Can we draft Neighbors or Dunzier, right? In the first round, now we got ourselves a dog of a wide receiver, right? Slayton, Hyatt, Robinson, and a dog, a Dunzier or Neighbors, right? Then you got Waller, you got Saquon in there. You got yourself some nice weapons there. Nice weapons. Now, if we can keep Daniel Jones standing upright, we might be able to do something with those weapons. But I'll tell you what, I hope we can find a way to work something out with Saquon, especially, once again, I am so sick of hearing the same thing it's the end of the season. What are we going to do with Saquon? And then the next season, it's the end of the season. What are we going to do with Saquon? It's the end of the season. It's the end of I'm so sick and tired of it. Can we sign a guy to, maybe like a 3-year deal that we maybe have out after 2? whatever. Can we just sign it? I mean, so I can't stand it. Giants need another number one wide receiver. I mean, can we get one of those, right? I know you're always going to have problems, but can we move on from one problem? I mean, I've been hearing the same problem from Saquon, or not the problem, but with the contract for a couple of years now. Can we just move on? Get something else to talk about? I mean, I hope we sign it in a couple of years. That'd be fantastic. I absolutely love that. Then we got Mel Kiper Jr. He has the Giants, of course. Now, the thing is, once again, now don't get me wrong. Mel Kiper Jr.'s latest mock draft forecast is player to the Giants. So we'll go over this in just a second. Now, once again, what I mean? And these guys know so much more because I don't, and I'm not going to spend time. I have other things I do. It doesn't make me great. Doesn't make me more important unless I have other things I do. I'm not going to spend 74 hours a day sitting there watching film and all that. And I'm not doing it. Not going to do that. So, I mean, so these guys know so much more than I know. Right? And it's that plain and simple. And their information is phenomenal. And that, but also let's not forget too, is that Mel Kiper, a lot of his mock draft is going to keep changing too. He might have 5 other mock drafts, and he might mock somebody else to the Giants, 5 other guys between now and the draft. We got almost 2 months till the draft, right? So let's just keep all that stuff in mind. But Mel Kiper, okay, he has the Giants. All right, ESPN draft analyst Mel Kiper Jr. is out with his latest mock draft, and with the top 3 quarterbacks, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Drake May, the first 3 picks off the board, he has the New York Giants going with a wide receiver. So we got ourselves a dog. Now we don't have to hear, right? The Giants need a number one wide. No, we have ourselves a dog, right? Mel Kiper picks the Giants Rome Odunze, whom Kiper likes over Malik Neighbors. Now, I hear guys listen to people talking, right? Because Marvin Harrison Jr. is off the board. Arizona's taking him at number 4. I mean, if he's there at number 4, I would be rather shocked if they don't take Marvin Harrison Jr. But I heard some people say they like Neighbors a little bit better. Some people say they like Odunze better. It's hard to say either, but it also might be, if so facto, right, that the Giant Odunze might be the only one left. Could be 1 goes Williams, 2 goes May, right? Daniels goes 3, Harrison goes 4, Neighbors goes 5. You're left with Odunze, right? So that's what but. Harrison, Neighbors, or Odunze, right? You got 3 dogs there. Let's hope so, right? Let's hope so. Let's see here. Of the decision to go with Odunze over Neighbors, Kiper said. Well, so I don't know. I don't know who got taken at number 5. He doesn't say here. But let's see. Giants are coming off a disastrous season in which they ranked 29th in points scored per game, 14 points a game, 30th in yards per play, 4.5 yards a play, and 32nd in sack rate per drop back. Well, we know that. That was with only 6 games from Daniel Jones, though, and the quarterback should have recovered from his knee injury by the start of the 2024 season. So what's the best way to ensure that doesn't happen again? Get Jones some help. They have too many number 2s and 3 receivers. Yep, that's right. Odunze, who caught 92 passes for 1,640 yards and 13 touchdowns last season, could be their number 1 guy. Yep. It says here, his logic isn't wrong. If the top three quarterbacks are off the board, it makes perfect sense for the Giants to either go receiver or trade down a few spots for more assets. Well, of course, it takes 2 to tango there. You just can't say, we'll just trade back then. Well, you need somebody that wants to trade up to number 6, give up extra assets, right? Give up extra draft picks, possibly to move up number 6 and not take a quarterback unless somebody's freaked out. Okay. Was it McCarthy? Right? I mean, if somebody's freaked out and they want to trade up with the Giants and maybe draft McCarthy, somebody moving like the Falcons or somebody moving up to trade with the Giants at number 6, and that way they move up, they give up a few extra assets or so to trade with the Giants. The Giants slide back a little bit, just so they know they get that. We got our court, we got McCarthy, we got him, we got our guy. Gave up a little extra to get him, but we got ourselves our guy. We can move forward with our quarterback now. So, other than that, I mean, it takes 2 to tango. You just can't say, oh, well, we'll just trade back then. If nobody calls you, right? Or nobody calls and offers you anything decent, you can't trade back. You're stuck at 6, right? So, okay. Speaking of quarterback, Kiper mocked Michigan's J.J. McCarthy to the Broncos at number 12. So, once again, as I'm saying, there's a lot. There are some quarterback needy teams. Let's see here. Let's. Oh wait, hold on. Get here. There's my. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. All right. Can I read it? Okay. Nope. I gotta. Can't read it. I gotta be subscribed to, which I'm not going to be, ESPN Plus to be able to read it. But let's see here. We got NFL draft order 2024. All right, here we go. All right, we got so after the Giants, right? The Falcons at number 8, right? Yeah, I mean, because it's going to be the point where, Minnesota at number 11. I mean, I don't know. Are they be signing Cousins? I don't know. And if they want to trade up, because I mean, you look at it like maybe they're where the Broncos at 12. So you got the Vikings at 11, the Broncos at 12. You got the Raiders at number 13, right? So you got 3 in a row, and then you got the Falcons. If one of those wanted to jump up in front of the Falcons, right? Well, let's see who's in front of maybe they could trade maybe with the Titans. I don't know. But I mean, if the Falcons wanted to jump up to number 6 with the Giants, give the Giants their pick number 8, and they would have to give them maybe a second-round pick. I'm thinking maybe. Who knows? But if they wanted to jump up and trade with the Giants just so that they could secure McCarthy, that's a possibility. If one of the other question is, if the Raiders at number 13 wanted to trade with the Giants, do the Giants want to slide all the way back to 13? Might depend upon what they're going to get in return. But, it says here, from NFL.com, says, the biggest needs for the Raiders, quarterback. The biggest needs for the Broncos, quarterback. The biggest needs for the Vikings, quarterback. Then you got the Falcons. Biggest needs for the Falcons, quarterback. So picks 8, 11, 12, and 13, right? Those 4 teams need quarterbacks. So is one of them going to pull the trigger on McCarthy? I can't see Penix with his injury history. I can't see that. There's other guys out there, but maybe they might want to be maybe more of a day 2 kind of, maybe a round 2 guy. But I mean, McCarthy might be the only other one that might go this high. So I'm saying, so is one of these teams going to get the itches, and we better jump up and get our guy before somebody else does. But I'm saying, but there are 4 teams that are just behind the Giants, 8, 11, 12, and 13. Those 4 teams need quarterbacks. If one of them thinks that highly of McCarthy, they might come a calling. So we'll have to wait and see. But so the Giants, according to Mel Kiper Jr. anyway, they get Dunze. So, and from what I'm hearing, once again, just from what I'm hearing, you can't go wrong with either a Dunze or Neighbors. Some people like Neighbors, and hey, if he's I'm hearing a bunch of good stuff about him too. So if we wind up getting stuck with Neighbors, I'm cool with that. Either or, I'm fine. And if he's like Odell Beckham, right? If he's like OBJ, sign me up, baby, right? And then finally, now you always got to, when you're talking about Chris Sims, you always got to keep a little context going on here, right? Because Daddy Sims, right? Phil Sims played for the Giants. He was a quarterback. Chris Sims, is a Giants fan, right? Chris Sims played quarterback, right? So he's always going to be a little, biased, shall we say, toward the Giants and their quarterback / Daniel Jones situation. So according to Chris Sims, one-on-one with Chris Sims, this is a Big Blue View. Daniel Jones is problem 74 for the Giants. So I guess that means, he what he is as far as a problem for the Giants is like way down the list. Now the Giants got 99 problems, but Daniel Jones ain't one of them, apparently, according to Chris Sims. Put NFL analyst Chris Sims firmly in the build around Daniel Jones camp when it comes to the question of what the Giants should do at quarterback this offseason. In an exclusive chat with Big Blue View on Thursday at the NFL Scouting Combine, Sims called Jones problem 74 on the Giants and said they need to help him, not cast him aside. I am one that leans more toward let's keep Daniel Jones and let's build the football team, Sims said. That's kind of what they did with his father, too, right? When he came into the league, of course, he had his injuries as well, too. But they started building a team around Phil Sims, right? A good offensive line, got a good running game. They had obviously a nice tight end. Never had phenomenal wide receivers, but obviously, of course, they did build the defense, too. That helped, around with Phil Sims. But the way I look at it right now is, okay, I think there's a good chance it's 1, 2, 3 quarterback in the 2024 NFL draft. Are you going to be sold that the next guy is the guy at number 6? I don't know necessarily. I think you get into some question marks after that, or guys that might not be ready right away, or things like that. There has been a constant stream of chatter about the possibility the Giants are considering moving up to from number 6 to number 3, providing the New England Patriots are willing to move out of their spot to get one of the top 3 quarterbacks. GM Joe Schoen indicated earlier this week that he would only consider that option if the 3rd pick is on the clock and the quarterback the Giants really love is still available. It has to be. Absolutely. Giants have to fall in love with the quarterback. So I mean, they picked the phone up, and they called the Patriots. Are you willing to trade? Right, and Shane said, well, okay, if you're willing, I don't know if they came up with terms or not or whatever, but are you okay? Because when it comes your turn, if our guy is there. If we find somebody we're in love with and he's there, we're calling you, okay? So, let's see. GM Joe Schoen indicated that he would only consider, obviously, Sims doesn't believe the Giants coming off a 6-11 season are in position to trade away the necessary draft assets to move up. Yeah, because once again, you're going to be giving up 4 picks. Probably to go to number 3. I mean, your 2 second-round picks and a second-round next season. So, in these next 2 drafts, you'd be giving up 4 picks. You're giving up 4 probably starters to get your quarterback maybe in the future. So that's, we need depth, and we got a lot of holes to fill. And you don't want to fill all those holes with free agency. That you don't want to do. So I said we need depth and we need starters, right? And a lot of way to get that is through your draft picks, and especially to get the starters through the draft picks. You get a lot of your starters, your 1st and 2nd round. And if you're going to give up 4 of those picks, I mean, there's different ways. There's a couple ways of doing it. Some people say, like, get yourself a team, okay? And then bring the guy in, all right? And then, let him work with, what you got. I mean, yes, some just say also it's kind of like, well, when you got a chance, if you see a chance, take it. That's an old time song. Now, if you see your quarterback, if you got a chance, get him. I mean, whether your team is ready or not, right? If you see your chance to get your quarterback, who your conviction on it, you're like, this is not gonna. If we get this guy, may not work out this year and that, whatever, but going forward, and in a couple of years, we start building a team around. So if you got a chance to get your guy, you go get him. Because there's only so many opportunities to get yourself a quarterback that you fall in love with. But some people say it's kind of like, well, you bring a guy in and, I mean, if you don't have a team around them, it's like you're just setting yourself up for a disaster, right? So some people say get your team first, right? Draft all these, get your offensive line, get your weapons, and then you bring your quarterback in. Okay, he's going to struggle a little bit, but it won't be quite as bad because you got a team around him. And not only that, but if you got yourself a nice team around him, right? He might struggle a little bit, but he'll start getting better and better and better. Maybe by the second season or so, right? I mean, he might start going to the playoffs if you got a real good team around him. And then, especially if he's, you draft him, and say you draft him in the first round, well, you got him for 5 years, cheap. I mean, you're not paying him $50-60 million or whatever it is a year, right? Now you got him cheap for 5 years, or if you draft him in the second round, 4 years on the cheap. Especially in the second round. Christ, you're only paying a guy like $2 million a year to be your quarterback. I mean, you're paying him like $10 million a year for 4 seasons. I mean, that's a no-brainer. And, it's like what the 49ers are doing with Purdy, right? Next season, I think it'll be just his 3rd season. They got him for 2 more years. They got a nice team around them. They can afford to, keep some of these good players, draft some other good players. If they lose a couple guys in free agency, they can draft a couple guys to replace them. And they got Brock Purdy making like $38 a year because he was Mr. Irrelevant, right? So, let's see here. Sims doesn't believe that the Giants coming off. What are we going to do? The first 2 quarterbacks come off the board. We want a quarterback now. We're going to trade up. Sims says the Giants have holes everywhere, and we're just going to leave holes. And hey, quarterback, save the day. That just doesn't sound like the Giant way to me. Yeah, basically, we have no offensive line. We have no weapons, no offensive weapon. We have this for that, but let's bring a quarterback in, right? A rookie quarterback, and have him save the day. It's not going to happen. He said, when I ran the trade up from 6 to 3 in my most recent multi-round Giants mock draft, I used the 2018 precedent set by the Jets and the Colts, so 3 second-rounder picks to move up. The downside of that scenario is that while the Giants get a quarterback at number 3, they don't pick again until round number 3. And, pick number 70 could be a starter, right? But it is what it is. He said, then it says here, I ran the scenario past Sims. Why would you mess with that? With a team that we know has some glaring holes, there's no doubt about that. I'm a little bit more in favor of keep the pick, Sims said. Daniel Jones, I know we went to the playoffs 2 years ago. I know last year wasn't great. I get that, but the whole offense wasn't great. I also know that Jerry Shane and some people said to us here on the show this week, well, he's been hurt 2 out of the last 3 years, so we got to look for something. My response to that would be everybody's going to get hurt playing in that offense with that way you guys block. I don't care. Superman comes in and he's going to have a separated shoulder. That's where I look at it and go, that's not going to fix the issue. There's more issues. Daniel Jones is like problem number 74 in the Giants, right? They've got a whole laundry list. That time it's true. Yeah, that's true. Let's see here. Sims pointed to his father's career. He beat John Elway in a Super Bowl, Chris Sims said. How did Phil Sims? Because his damn team is way better. That's how Phil Sims beat John Elway. He also admitted that there are plenty of similarities between Jones' first 5 seasons and his father's first 5 seasons. Oh, yeah. Yep. Lots of ups and downs and lots of injuries. Phil Simms had lots of injuries. But, I mean, also, Phil Simms had 3 of the greatest of all time on his team. I can't say that about the Giants right now. He had Bill Belichick, the defensive coordinator. He had Lawrence Taylor, the greatest defensive player of all time. And he had Bill Parcells. You put him wherever you want. Top 5, top 10 coach of all time. Bill Belichick, put him wherever you want. Top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 head coach of all time. Wherever you want to put him, right? So Phil Simms had those 3 guys. There's nobody like that on this Giants team. So it is what it is. But as I said, once again, you got to keep the context. It is what it is. Phil Simms is always going to be partial to the Giants. He's always going to be partial to the quarterback situation, right? Because his father was the Giants. But he is right. His father, Phil Simms, was 22 out of 25 in the Super Bowl. Still has a Super Bowl record, right, for the completion percentage. He didn't have phenomenal wide receivers, right? But why did they whoop up on the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl, right? Super Bowl 21. Why did they? Because their team was way better. And he's got a point, right? Just trading away all your assets to jump up and grab Daniels, just saying, right? Jump up and put him back there or whatever. It's like, that's right. I forgot. We don't have a team because we just traded away all the draft picks. We have no offensive line. We have no wide receivers, right? Yeah. Our tight end, we brought in Darren Waller. He's got a hamstring, right? So he's going to miss the next 4 weeks. Okay, good luck, Daniels. Trying to win, right? So it does have some merit to it, what Simms is talking about. Let's build a team, right? And then let's bring the quarterback in. And the nice thing about that, as I said, it's going to take a couple of years. But through free agency and some good draft picks, you can build in the next couple of seasons. The Giants get themselves a nice foundation for a good team. And then if they're going to move on from Daniel Jones, I don't know, no idea, right? Right? And then if you go out and you draft somebody, well, I'm saying maybe they draft, like, say, Spencer Rattler in the 3rd round, 2nd round or something, and they start developing him. If they think they can move forward with him, they get rid of Daniel Jones, right? Now they got Spencer Rattler in the 2nd round, paying him like $42 a year. I mean, for 4 years, now you can really build a team because you got all kinds of money, right? So, all right, guys, been 1 hour and 12 minutes. Whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you. If anybody spends any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. As always, you guys stay safe out there. Go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.